Alright, my name's ShawNshawN. I do art on ShawNshawN.co and also specials on eBay. Today I'm going to review the Escape Room. So Escape Room is the 6 strangers that are all put together in this one room in this game, which is very typical that people have, which are called escape room. So in the real world, escape rooms are, you throw in there as kind of a puzzle, you resolve it, and then if you're successful, you maybe get to 2 or 3 rooms and then you escape. And if not, you get let out after the first room or second room or wherever you get stuck. So that's kind of the whole fun of an escape room. Now in this movies, as being a movie, they've dramatized it. So they get into the room and it's super secretive, no one knows what's going on, and it turns out these rooms are all deadly. So they have to figure out the clues in a certain time to figure out a puzzle to open a key to open each door. Sometimes they don't know where the key is, they don't know where to get the key. A lot of mysterious clues to resolve. A lot of these clues are only resolved because of all the special members that are on board. However, as they go through these selective rooms, they keep losing people, so they become weaker and weaker as a group, and the likelihood that they'll survive is very slim. So one of the things you know going in is one of the girls is Zoe, and she's a really smart math student. So you're pretty gonna, she's gonna be pretty important to it, being able to solve puzzles. There's this guy called Ben who's this basically loser, and he basically accidentally killed his friends during a DUI, so you're thinking he's useless, but somehow he survives to the end. There's a truck driver who used to be a coal miner, he had a collapse, and then he survived while his friends just died next to him, suffocating. There's Danny, who's this kind of Indian kid who loves puzzles and he loves escape rooms, and of course he gets killed off in the second room or something. It's like, dude, which would have really helped. He kept kind of the even paced on it. Another girl is Amanda, and Amanda is kind of ex-soldier, so she has a lot of acrobatic skills, which comes in handy in, I think, the third room maybe. At one point, one of the actors, Zoe, figures out like there has to be an alternate way out of the rooms besides the official way, right? So she knocks out all the cameras that are in the room, and everyone escapes except her, and she suffocates. So you think, oh well, that's the end of her, right? But then later, these guys enter to clear out the room after they go for the dead bodies, right? She hits him over the head and is able to escape. So, and then you have some of the players escape, and so you think, oh well, that's the nice end, they survived. And then you're thinking, well, are they going to go after them? And at first they go back to the room and they try to find where the room was, and the room's been completely burned down and it looks like a shell, and so no one believes their story, which is possible, but in 16 hours you're going to redo a whole building? It's kind of a movie idea, right? But it works from a movie perspective. You like that kind of thing. And then they set up for a sequel. As they go and investigate, they found the secret organization's actually downtown, I think Chicago or something. So or downtown New York. So they want to fly and investigate and find the real people behind these mazes because they're killing people. So, that's kind of the premise. Now, what you look for in a kind of movie like this, it's obviously kind of a one-time view, since it's a mystery. So once the mystery resolve, it's not going to be as fun the second time, similar to like watching The Cube. That was another movie where these people move from cube to cube. In each room they try to kill you somehow. So this is kind of a remake of that, but in a much more creative sense. Like all the rooms aren't generic as in The Cube, which the Cube is more realistic, I think, in the sense that you wouldn't put a lot of effort into like intricate design. That's kind of what you would do in a movie, say. However, who knows, because all these rooms wouldn't reset well. Like in The Cube, the rooms actually reset well because they're just square boxes. The weapons come out of the walls, kill you, and then they go back. Or they disperse if they're like poison gas or something, or acid. So that's kind of a more realistic, reusable room. In the escape room, some of the rooms, they actually get completely destroyed, so they'd have to rebuy all the furniture again if they're going to reuse this exact same puzzle. So there's just no way it'd be like kind of a one-time use. So, and that's kind of what they hint at the end of the story, that each one of these puzzles, they pick the people, they put them in the puzzle, and one person survives basically. But then even then they don't let you survive. They have someone go and kill the winner. It's totally classic, which makes sense. You got to cover your tracks, right? You can't kill just 5 people, let one person go and be like, hey, he's gonna be happy door, he just killed 5 of his friends. But they're all strangers, so they're not really friends. But of course, if you're in a life and death situation, you're gonna grow very tight over time. The sets are really nice, very interesting. Are they realistic? Could someone set it up the way they did in the movie? Possibly. people obviously wouldn't, because they'd be sued out of their butt if anyone escaped, and it would just be so expensive to set up. But that's kind of the scenario of the story, in a sense. Like, these secret billionaires are setting this up for their pleasure. So in a way, if you think of a lot of stuff that happens on the dark web, there is like a lot of dark secret worlds that are behind there, but usually it's kind of more easy to understand. I mean, there might be torture, but it's probably they would, fly you to Africa and go shoot some wild animals versus, you could go hunt humans, but you have to go hunt with the dictator, and you're going to trust the dictator. It's like, so it's easier. Yeah, I trust the guy if he goes hunt animals or just wild animals, right? So that's more realistic in the real world. But it's very interesting concept, I would say. A very fun movie. It's a one-time view. They set up for a second one, so if this does well, they'll do a second one, which, I might go see the second one. It could be interesting. It's definitely kind of fun from the puzzle standpoint, because a lot of these movies are kind of dumb. Like, the people are just dumb in there, and they barely solve it. So in this case, they actually have some smart people in there, which makes it much more interesting that some of the people are actually smart and not just they're kind of put in there sadistically with not a chance in the world. So that was kind of in Cube. Some of the people were just completely hopeless. So it was like, why are they even put in the cube? They're just going to be slaughtered right on the bat. But some of those people even survive in the cube. So yeah, I kind of like this. I think I like Cube as a much more serious sci-fi take on this, much more dark, but this is kind of a fun, lighter version of that. Yeah, I think I'd recommend it. It's just a fun kind of popcorn movie. Nothing serious. It's obviously not going to win the Oscars, but definitely a fun movie. Hope you guys like it. If you want to subscribe below. And hope to see you on the next movie review.